of the banks.
Yeah.
If you look at the
That's the
total
other thing. Yeah.
reserves of the bank, it will be a phenomenal percentage of our GDP.
Yeah.
So it's not that the funds, the country doesn't have reserves, it's where is it sitting.
Yeah.
Yes, the banks are listed there, but what you and I are talking about is stakeholder funds. But Rohan, one lesson we can take from this is long years ago, I think it was in the 90s, I know I was in the bank, I attended a seminar at NUS in Singapore. And there was a fiscal director from the Central Bank of Singapore who came and spoke to us.
Yeah.
And it was a lady, I think. And she said in Singapore, if you have a net, they were asking about net interest margins in our banks, and all bankers were there from state banks, various private banks. And we were at that time talking about net interest margins about 6.5%, 7.5%. The net interest margin means what is the interest we charge to the customer on their borrowing and what is the interest we pay to the customer. So the net of that. We buy money and sell money as bankers. So what is the net? So she was telling, she was, oh my God, you have such large percentages. And then she said in Singapore, I'm talking 1990s, to have a net interest margin more than 2% is a crime against society. So the regulatory authorities ensure the net interest margins are kept at that level. So
why are we not doing that here?
There is a reason why the banks were carrying such large interest margins is because our bad debt books were very heavy. So there's a cost of carrying a non-performing advance and there's no return on those.
Okay.
So a portion of this net interest margin goes to carry that debt.
Yeah.
So what Singapore has done at that time is they had a legal system where the bank debts are sorted out much faster, the legal systems, or they had central bank had an arm where they buy the debts from the bank,
right?
Bad debts,
right,
and at a discounted price, and then they recover. So it's that burden is taken off the banking system. So they were able to maintain low margins, and then their automation improved. So today our banking structure is pretty well automated. But I can't believe our overheads, staff overheads in particular, still the same. And I mean, when at the time I left the banks, an average bank staff would have been opening branch should have been 6-7 people.
Yeah.
And most of the functions have been automated. I mean, certain newer banks are following that pattern. They just have just the right number of people to do customer interaction. The rest is done at the back office.
Yeah.
So to answer a question, in a time like this, funds need to be made available, particularly for the SME sector. The corporate sectors will have their reserves. They will have their mechanism to handle the crisis. But if you look at what the world is doing, everybody, I was just for this interview, I was reading a report from World Economic Forum, and they were talking about global tourism dipped to about $1 trillion, and we are dependent on that. And they are saying a GDP dip minimum 2% in developing countries. When you have a GDP growth of 3 to 4%, and you're saying it's going to drop by 2%, that's going to have a major impact.
Yeah.
And they also were saying our garment industry will suffer by about $2 billion loss of revenue.
Yeah.
So what is the impact? So if larger companies are going to get hit, and then if you look at what Europe and UK and US is doing, is they're funding the small and medium-sized people to ensure that runs. So what's the message when we say we are looking at the small and medium enterprises?
Yeah.
They are looking at making more of your nation. So that's the equation. This is the time then you have to make more out of your own country. You have to look at your own resources and then say, how do I maximize that? Because you're going to have a problem in your trade deficit. Our export earnings are not coming. I'll come to that. I mean, that's a different ballgame.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll come to that.
Yeah,
but it is feared because of the trade deficit, because of the lack of. You already see the dollar moving up because we don't have.
So I was going to ask you about that. I know that the dollar is moving, like it moved to be like 200 today. And I know that
199,
yeah, 199, right? Now my question to you is that I know we obviously expected it, but is that a fair movement, or I feel it's a lot more than expected, or a lot more than what it should have been for this time period? Is that a fair assessment from me? Because my knowledge about this is
Sri Lankan exchange rate is not truly free floated.
Okay.
It is to an extent regulated.
Right.
Right, because we are an import economy. If you free float it based on fundamentals, it's going to hit much higher numbers.
Right.
This is the banker talking to you, right? So, but it is regulated because we are an import economy, so you got to manage that. But when we say there aren't exports, you have to export what is wanted in the markets. Right now, if you look at what China is doing, and then today in CNN they were saying China is adopting a mask diplomacy. They're producing masks for the whole world. Right? Vietnam is producing masks, and we have a population 300,000-400,000 people in the garment industry, and we are looking at industry being doomed. But why don't we get into that industry when Apple has moved into mass production? Apple has moved into mass production. Eye mask, right? Who thought it would come? And if Vietnam and China are exporting, and West is crying for masks, right? Gulf, Iran, Iraq, massive opportunity.
So why aren't people doing that?
Trade is
why do you
demand
think...
and supply. So if
No, I get that, but what I'm saying is that, I mean, these people are really smart people in Sri Lanka, right? I mean, these are the tycoon, anywhere, like the biggest business leaders, the most intelligent ones are the ones who are running these companies. So why are they not moving to this? I mean, that's a question I'm asking you. I get the logic.
So it's, again, state policies must move faster.
Is it really a state policy? Because I would argue, Bradley, that one of the reasons why our apparel sector grew is because there were a couple of tycoons or business leaders who really took the entire game to their hands and drove it. Why are they not doing it right now?
So the brand fixers and